Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Okay, first to a weather update because that seems to be what I do most of the time. Today looks absolutely amazing. The sky is almost entirely blue. It is supposed to get to about 24, I believe, but it started off really cold. So it's feeling a little bit like a very early spring day rather than being mid-November. Hopefully all of the heavy rain is behind us, although they're saying El Nino is supposed to go through until December or January. We did have more heavy rain this past week. Our creek flooded again. There was water over the road outside our house. The road out from Yarra Glen has been closed again. Everything's just still so high and there's so much moisture in the ground that anytime there's just that little bit extra like heavy rain, it is going to flood again, and it's going to take a long time for all of those flood waters to go down. You can see in some of the flats where the water has receded a little bit just how muddy and brown everything is. So now farmers are going to be struggling to feed their livestock. It's all going to have to be hay because the grass is just not going to be able to grow through all of that. So that's what we're dealing with right now. But here on the farm, hopefully the sun will dry everything up and we'll be able to get back out into the paddocks and start getting some stuff done again. The sheep's paddock just here out by the shed has all regrown again. I shut them out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm thinking probably this weekend I'll pop them back in there again because they do really enjoy that extra grass. There's plenty where they are, but they like that other space. And they also, I think, like sitting around this side and being able to see me while I'm in here in the shed. I am going to have to clean out the old green shed where I had raised Hurley when he was very young. So the little pen that I had inside for him and the other two when I got them to keep them safe while they were still quite little. I have been keeping my hay in there for the sheep to keep it dry, and also the grain that I give to them as well. And with all of this wet and horrible weather, all of the mice have started to come into that space to nest and keep dry and warm, using my hay and trying to eat the grain like through plastic and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to have to open it up and sweep it all out and get rid of as much of the stuff that doesn't need to be in there where they can like hide and nest, so that we can discourage them from living in there, and get rid of like the barriers that I'd had in there for Hurley when he was little too. It's sort of hard to believe that we're at a year, like he would have been about being weaned about now. So still going in to that little shed at night. I didn't have all three of them out in the paddock overnight until January or February this year. So do need to clean all that out to stop that mouse problem. I mean, it's really hard to get rid of them completely. I mean, we're on a farm where we've got, grass and paddocks and other, we've got the chicken food and we've got the quail food and all of that kind of stuff as well. But if we can eliminate as much of that sort of hiding, breeding space as we can, then hopefully we don't end up with a problem. A few weeks ago, I talked about how I normally change my wardrobe over from summer to winter and winter to summer, that kind of thing, and how I hadn't quite done it yet because it hadn't been warm. And it still really hasn't been. There's been a couple of days, but nothing where you're like, yeah, I'm totally into wearing summer clothes now. But what I have done is I had 3 tubs that had clothes that I hadn't worn all that much. Some formal wear, some true summer things, and also some more corporate kind of wear. And since I've stopped working in an office and moved here to the farm, that's clothes that I don't use very often at all. Over the period of supervising the exams, I was using some of those clothes. And so it was a really good opportunity to pull it all out and try things on, see what was comfortable, what I liked, what I thought I would be able to wear in another setting, and also things that were fitting or not fitting. And so I have done quite a bit of a cleanup of that stuff. I have two big piles of really good quality clothes that are either too big for me, or that I'm just not wearing, colors that I don't wear, or a style that I'm not going to wear. And that's all going to go to charity. And I've been able to get everything out of those tubs except for the real formal wear, long dresses and things that you wear to a cocktail party. Now, there aren't a lot of cocktail parties happening here on the farm, but there is the occasion where you need that kind of dress. So those are staying in one of the tubs, and that's gone back under my bed. The other two tubs I don't need for clothes anymore. So I've taken everything out, and I am going to have it in my wardrobe all the time. I've decided that I think that's going to work better for me, so I can see everything and not forget that I have it. And then you have the potential to wear it in different ways and layer it up, and potentially get a lot more use out of it, or decide that I don't want it at all and it can go as well. I don't have a very big wardrobe, so I do need to sort of figure out my space a little bit. So I'm playing around with some different options in terms of how I hang things and how I store and fold things. I'm thinking I might be able to change the shelves on the other side of the wardrobe and put like a shorter hanging section in that I can use for skirts and shirts, to then be able to have a lot more space for hanging, because the side that has all of my stuff hung at the moment is getting quite tight, and I'd rather have it a lot more space. And then the only things that I will really put away for the summer will be like my big winter coats, and I have a wooden chest that I will put those in. So then that's much easier to get back out again, along with like my extra blankets and things like that. So real winter items, and the rest will be out year round. So I'm really excited about that. It's taken me a long time to really cull down my clothes and get rid of the things that I'm honestly not wearing or don't like. I think there's probably still some things in there that I just need to gradually get rid of, but it's helped me to see what I have, and now I've got much, much less than I've had previously, and it's making it so much more easy to manage already, just in terms of putting things away and actually finding an outfit to wear. Last weekend was the Big Wool Show, and it was a fabulous event, really inspiring. I watched a lot of the live streams and checked out a lot of shops, and a lot of people came and checked out my shop too, which was really, really great. Big thank you to Danielle and Chantal for all of their work putting together the online event. Hi, and thank you to anyone who popped by and bought something from me, or has since started following me on Instagram, or started watching here on the channel. So thank you. I've been packing orders this week, and I have one or two more that still need to go out, which I'm hoping I can get to after this, but pretty much everything is done. So thank you for that. It was a really fabulous time, and I hope to be a part of it again next year. If I can sort out my internet, then maybe I can even be on one of their little live interviews next year as well. That's what I'd really like to do. Now that things have kind of slowed down a little bit, I only have a sock class at Unwind in December. No other markets planned at this stage, and I'll probably keep it that way. I'm sort of now looking towards next year and what my plans are going to be. Before I do that, I am going to have to clean up the shed. I'm a little bit ashamed at how messy it is. As you can see, I have been just going nonstop and getting things out, and I've been able to get things done and find what I need, but it is a little out of control and a little messy right now. And it also needs like a proper vacuum and dust and windows cleaned. Like the whole thing just needs a proper clean. So now that the sun's out and it feels like it's sort of going to start to warm up and be really, hopefully, nice weather, I might get the windows open in the next few days and weeks, and the doors open, and just air everything out and really do a proper tidy up. I do have systems and organization for everything. I have tubs and I have spots for everything. But at the moment, as you can see, it is all very, very spread out, and there's a lot of rubbish and mess that I have to get rid of. And I'm also getting into my planning, and I showed you my month to a page calendar that I have bought. I have started to put all of the important dates that I know about into this already. So all of the tea time yarn retreats that have already been scheduled, markets that I would like to apply for or to be part of, and other important dates like holidays, birthdays, year 12 exams for next year, things that I need to plan for and work around, so that then I can look at some key dates and work back from there to start to get myself organized and planned for the year. So once I've put a few more dates and bits and pieces in here, this is going to go up on the back of a cupboard that I have that I kind of use as a wall, and where it sits, I can see it from where I skein and wind my yarn, and I can see it from my desk. It's a little far away in terms of see detail at my desk, but I'll be able to see like blocks of time. So that's where that will sit, and I will then be able to plan out my year based on some priorities that I've been thinking about and how I want to move forward with my business. I feel like this year has been a bit of a shift for me, quite a change. I guess the past couple of years, with us all being locked down and not being able to go anywhere, was quite a challenge, but also helped me to establish myself here on the farm in the shed. I mean, we basically built the shed and I set everything up. So I've been able to now feel like I can really expand and do more with Passion Flower than I was able to do before, when I was only working out of like a kitchen. Having my own dye space, having my own crafting space. So it's now putting that part of it together with the connections and markets and everything that I've been able to go to this year to build out now what I would like to continue to do in the future. I'd like to, as I said, do some markets, and I've already thought about the ones that I'd like to do. I'd like to continue to do sock classes if Unwind will have me, and potentially do some stuff here in the shed for myself, to have people come here. Still lots to work through in terms of that, but it's exciting to plan that and look to what I might be able to do now that I have this great space, and people are allowed to interact and come and do things. So I will spend probably a day sort of taking myself out of my normal routine if I can a little bit. I actually was on a workshop last night with the Thrivers Circle, and that's exactly what the workshop was about. It was about how to plan your year, and it was perfect timing for me because that's right where my head is at right now. I don't want to do my planning in like just late December because it's too Christmassy, and I don't want to do it in January or February because then I feel like you've kind of missed a couple of months already. So I really want to start thinking about the year now, so that I can just get going really well into the new year and really make sure that I'm really sticking to a direction that is where I want to take my business, and that I'm going to be really happy to do, and that still fits with my lifestyle, and all of those things that you kind of need to take a little bit of time to think about and to really get the detail down. Then I can, develop and change as I go, obviously, but having that real solid, clear starting point is something that I have not really done that well at in the past. But I feel like this is a really good time to do that and establish some solid plans and work on my business. Okay, I still haven't been doing a lot of knitting. I finished supervising the Year 12 exams the middle of this week. So up until then, I was really busy with that. I had all the markets and the packing from online sales. So I don't know, and then tidying up my wardrobe. So I haven't really felt too much in the mood to knit. I just haven't been all that inspired. I have done a little bit, and I'll show you what I have done, but no solid progress. But I think that's okay sometimes. So, I have good weeks and I have bad weeks, and I guess this is one of the slower ones. I did finish the first of the opal socks. I said that I was probably going to do another whole repeat of this white before I stopped, but when I got up to the grey, I folded it in half and I saw where it was sitting on the foot, and that's about as long as I like my socks. So if I had done a whole nother repeat, they would have been quite high. So by the time I added in the pink at the top, I think I've ended up with a pair of socks that are a good length for me. And I'll have plenty of yarn to do the second sock and probably at least another pair of like shorties, or even potentially this size by putting in contrasting cuffs and heels. One little tip when you add a new color for ribbing at the top of a sock is knit the first row of the color all knit stitches rather than starting with your rib straight away. Now you cannot tell that I have done that by looking at it like that, but what it does do is stops the purl bumps coming through of your previous color. So if I had left it and just gone knit some pearls straight away, you'll be able to see the bumps of the grey through the pink, whereas this way it is just the solid pink. So I've started the second one. The toe is done, and I am just about to start knitting in the round with no increases. As you can see, I have quite successfully matched up that toe, which I'm very pleased about. So these will be pretty much 100% matching socks by the time I'm done. I've also done a tiny bit more on my Flax Light baby jumper that I'm using as a sample in the denim colorway. I finished the body. I've done the little ribbing on the bottom there, and I'm now working on the first sleeve. I'm just doing it magic loop, and it's working out fairly well. So I'm just going to measure how long it needs to be, probably not too much longer really, and then I can start on the second one. I am enjoying it, but as I said, I just haven't been spending a lot of time knitting. This is so soft and lovely, and I am excited to have this as a little shop sample. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.